Hello, everyone. Welcome. I wanted to wait until everybody was in the waiting room, and we'll be admitting people here. So while you're settling in, you may want to get some water. I highly recommend having water for these 5 days because we're going to be we're going to be journeying. And whenever we do that, we are burning through on a cellular level, and hydration is really, really important. So we're not going to do a ton of housekeeping today because I really want to go right into it. And so I'm not going to do a lot of introduction about myself today. A lot of you here, I can see you and welcome. We've been in each other's orbit for a while. You're welcome to turn off your video if you'd like. All of your microphones have been muted just so we can preserve the integrity of the recording and make it easy to listen to later on. So welcome everyone who's here, everybody who's going to be in the replay watching, or you are in the replay watching. I'm speaking to you as my future self and your future self. This week together, these 5 days, I'm going to try to keep these calls under an hour. I want the energy to be clean and seamless and smooth. I want you to get the maximum optimized amount of energy building inspiration from these calls. These are going to boost your creativity. This is going to enliven your dream state. You might notice some interesting dreams, insights, aha moments, revelations coming in, because that's what happens when you really merge with not just the premise of the truth, rather, that you are creating your own reality. You're not doing it alone, however, because you're also working with everything that is creation. You're working with the all that is. You are one with everything. This is such an important premise to grasp as truth because it will keep you from struggling against the things that are what I call the building blocks of reality. So you can call them universal laws, the immutable laws, spiritual laws. Those names are all interchangeable. They all mean the same thing. Reality is made up, okay? When you look out and you see on your desk that you might be having your laptop on, or your computer that you're holding, or your smartphone that you're holding, this existed as an idea in someone's mind. Everything is created twice. Once in someone's mind. It was the inception, right? It came in through, you could call it 4D awareness, through this filter, so that it could be like, it's the idea. So it was created there, although it's not really created there. But you have the discovery of it there. And then when something has physical form, or what we think of in this very pervasive and stubborn illusion of physical form, then this smartphone, this computer, your desk, this lamp that's on my desk, it was physically created, okay? So when you realize that everything that it takes behind the scenes, in other words, to make something happen, it is a lot of energy, and it's never something that exists in a vacuum. We are part of a beautiful, collaborative, open system that is all just energy. It's all just energy. And if you believe that everything is energy and vibration, frequency, then we can start moving from just the idea or the conceptualization of this and start living it. And this is where it causes a lot of struggle, a lot of suffering for a lot of people, is that we can't get beyond just the idea of it. Like, we can get behind the idea, like, yeah, that means something to me. We're all creators. We're one with all of creation. Like, I get that. Conceptually, I get it. That can land with me. It makes sense. But where the real rub is we have real trouble with living it. And it's because we go back and forth. So I'm just going to ask you at the very beginning, right here, right now, and I want to save anybody here a lot of time, because the next 4 days aren't really going to mean much to you unless you can get behind more than just the idea that, yeah, I'm the creator of my own reality. I'm creating my reality moment to moment. But it's not just me. I'm never alone. I don't exist in a vacuum. I'm part of the one all. I'm part of a larger consciousness, that it is one open system and it's all contributing, all collaborating with everything else. This is a big concept. And for most people, it remains just that. It remains a concept. But here's what I want to take you through in these 5 days. You know, I'm not just going to throw a bunch of theories and ideas at you and premises. I'm going to take you through the experience of it, because really working with this stuff, it's experiential. I mean, I can talk about this stuff all day long, and I usually do, mostly in my own head, but also to the people that I get to, you know, share with in my classes and programs. But we want to move beyond just discussion here. A lot of my work is experiential, because as much as I could, and I'm pretty good at breaking down pretty nebulous and esoteric concepts and making them relatable, tangible, practical, applicable. But even better than that, I want to take you through the experience of it. I want to take you through the experience of, I'm the creator of my own reality, but you've got to really work with this underlying truth that we are all one. Because you can't completely make this the foundation of your reality and everything you're creating, quote unquote, going forward, unless you truly believe I am one with everything. I am the source of all that is, and I have everything that that source produces. I am all of it. But I'm not this ultimate God. I'm sharing in this responsibility with everything and everyone and every other item. You know, it's all consciousness, it's all energy, it's all vibration, it's all frequency. And so what I would like to do over these 5 days together, and I'm so glad you're all here. Thank you for being here. This is exciting. That we're going to go through this experientially. We're going to go through this intuitively. We're going to go through this holistically. We're going to feel it in mind, body, and spirit. Okay? Because otherwise, and I'll just tell you straight, it's all just like academic. Like, if you can get it intellectually, so what? It's the heart that is the command center of consciousness. It's the heart that is the locus point of attention for all that which you are, and all that you can possibly believe or side with as part of this beyond just a premise. I'm one with everything. I'm the creator of my own reality. And so I'm going to take you through this, and then I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this to save anybody a lot of time going forward. If you can't get behind right now, even the idea or the concept that you are the creator of your reality, I'm going to break this down really quickly for you by giving you an analogy. Okay? This doesn't just work sometimes. This is really why, you know, people try to work with spiritual laws, what I call the building blocks of reality, because everything is made up. But what makes it up has to have some structure. It's got to have some scaffolding, right? Otherwise, there's nothing to support it. And that's exactly what universal spiritual laws do. That's why they're called universal, because they work for everyone and everything that we call creation or physical form or reality. It has these building blocks in order to make it something we can experience as real, tangible, practical. We could reach out and touch it. Everything is subject. And this is beyond, you know, our time and space. They work differently in other dimensional realities, but these are the underlying structures, the building blocks of reality as we know it. And the reason why one of these structures, which is probably the biggest star of all, I'm sure every one of you here has worked with, has heard about the law of attraction, why a lot of people say, well, it doesn't work for me, it only works some of the time, or how come it works for everyone else, but it doesn't work for me? Here's the truth. It works all the time, 100%. It just may not be working the way you want it to. And the reason why is because you're still working with kind of believing in the idea that you are one with everything and you are the creator of your reality, but you're not living that. You're just working with the idea of it. And that idea still remains pretty, you know, loosey-goosey in terms of, well, sometimes I believe that I'm the creator of my reality. And when do we believe that? When things are going right. when things are really going our way and we're happy-go-lucky and we're whistling down the primrose path and we're like, yeah, life is good, things are happening, I am the creator of my own reality. And then what happens? Life happens. We get challenged, right? We are presented with an issue. We have an obstacle, something we want to overcome or triumph over. And then we say, God, this was working so well. How come it stopped working? How come how come I was attracting all this great stuff and magnetizing all these wonderful things and then it stopped working? Here's the truth. It never stops working. The law of attraction is really, from what most people understand, is the law of vibration, really. So vibration, energy, frequency, these are constants. This is always happening. It's everything that comprises what we know of as energy, okay? And it's just fluctuations, waves, and particles thereof, okay? We're not going to go too quantum with this because that really defeats the whole thing I'm trying to do here, which is make this experiential rather than theoretical. Because who cares? I mean, we've heard the theories and we've heard, people throw around quantum jumping and shit like that. The real thorn in my side because it's a woefully misunderstood concept. So I want to back up from the theory and I want to make this experiential and as tangible as possible. So this can really reach you so that it lands in your life and it makes sense and you can work with this stuff now. Because now is all there is, right? Now is when you need it, not later, not next week, not next year. You're here because you want to experience a shift now. Who signed up because they wanted to experience a consciousness shift now? And I have the chat box open, so please say hello and let me know where you're watching from. Something about what I put out there, maybe you followed me for a while, maybe you haven't even followed me for a while, maybe you saw this and was just like, ooh, that kind of pulls at me somewhere. Something made you want to show up, to take your time and energy to be here today, to be with me, and I'm nothing but appreciative of that. Because I know your time and energy, your focus, your attention is valuable. You could put it have it be on a million different things right now. And we're here. So there's something that drew you here. And it's because you want to shift something now. You want to move into a consciousness breakthrough that allows you to be like, you know what? I could get with that concept before, but I didn't really know how to apply it. I didn't know how to make it work in my life. I didn't know how it could make sense in my everyday waking reality. Well, that's what I do. And that's as much of an introduction as I'm going to give you to myself today. I'll talk about more of myself and my interesting history of doing this work for over 23 years. But today, I want to get you to this point of, let's call it a point of reckoning, where you can say, it's not a cherry picking thing, where I'm the creator of my reality sometimes when things are going good, but when things aren't going good, I don't want to believe that I'm the creator of my reality. And where a lot of people fall into the trap is thinking, again, about another woefully misunderstood concept and spiritual law. A lot of people really don't understand the law of attraction, especially when I hear the kind of blaming and shaming and our little orbit, our little sphere of spiritual awakening on Faceplace and Instagram, and people talk about the law of attraction. Things aren't going well. Oh, you must be attracting it. Well, that's a really spiritually immature way of blaming and shaming and making someone the victim. We don't need to do that. And it's actually a very misunderstood way of applying the law of attraction when you say, well, if you don't like these experiences and you don't like this person or these kind of people or these kind of situations, there's something that you're doing that must be attracting it. Okay. let's for the sake of argument say that's a really, really, really small and misunderstood and microcosmic way of translating the law of attraction. In fact, it's a way of looking at the law of attraction as if it exists in a vacuum and it is existing on its own independently from all the other spiritual laws, which are designed as building blocks of reality to work together. So when we say, oh, it's the law of attraction, you're attracting that, and that's why your life is so shitty right now, or I'm attracting this, and that's why my life is so shitty. It's because my thoughts are so crappy. Well, that's only part of it. What about the law of cause and effect? What about the law of perpetual transmutation? What about the law of one? What about the law of vibration? What about the law of correspondence? What about the law of gender principles? So we just leave all that other stuff out just because the law of attraction is the most buzzwordy phrase or, you know, concept of all the spiritual laws. No, there's a lot going on there when we're talking about being the creators of our own reality. Yes, it's our own because we have the filter, which is all the ideas, the concepts, beliefs, assumptions, opinions, memories, attitudes, misperceptions about who we are, about what life is, or about, you know, our history and what brought us to this point. All of that creates a filter. You could call it a paradigm. And we're all functioning within this filter of this core paradigm. And all of those things that we've brought up into this point, up until now, when you say, this is who I am, it's the composite of all of those things that are really based on a falseness, on an idea of you that wasn't working with the truth of who you are in your reality. It's not working with the truth of you as being a divine creator. It's not working with the truth of you as being the creator of your particular filter or sphere of reality, your lens of perception. That's exclusively and uniquely yours. And own it. Own who you've been. Love her or him. But you might want to lay flowers at her feet right here because you're going to experience a shift. Thank her, honor her, accept her or him for getting you to this point where up until now, maybe you've been working with some very limited, very contracted beliefs, ideas, misperceptions, etc., about who you think you are. And it became your truth, but it's not necessarily the truth of who you are. Because we've been, unfortunately, the experiencers of things that haven't been so wholesome, that haven't been kind to us, that brought us unwelcome contrast, usually at an age where we're too young to discern a higher perspective on it. And that's nobody's fault. We don't have to blame anybody. We don't have to look at our memories or relive or re-traumatize ourselves by reviewing the past. We don't have to do any of that. And we don't do that in my world, by the way. We work with emotions. We work with the sensations in the body represented by those emotions. Because those are the ones that have been tricking you into believing that life is a certain way, that you're a certain way, where you're working with a very contracted view of everything that's available, all potentials, all possibilities, and has been allowing you to believe, ideate, visualize up to this point with only a fraction of what's fully and completely available to you. Now, that can either upset you or it can excite you. And I want to invite you to really work with your sense of wonder here. I want you to be excited by the idea of, I'm just starting to know myself. Now, this, if you really take this into your heart and you allow yourself to work with a kind of ebullience, a kind of excitement, a sense of wonder, a childlike kind of innocence, and say, I'm just beginning to know myself. And it's never too late to know myself because time is one of these other fleeting yet very stubborn illusions that we work with here in 3D reality and time space. I'm just starting to know myself. And you might want to put your hands on your heart and say that out loud. Every moment I'm changing, and it gets to be exciting because I can make this change more deliberate. I can make it more intentional. I can live more intentionally. I can live more deliberately. I can live with more of my creative faculties at the ready. These are my resources. They're always available to me. It's just there's a part of me that believed they weren't, or they were somewhere out there. I got news for you. It's all in here. It's all already here. Everything you need is within you. You are the ultimate resource. And this is where we start going back into this idea that you are everything. Everything is you. You are the sources of everything that you need, and you are the source of everything that you need. And in order to stop working with this as just a concept, an idea, and move into an experiential and tangible living embodiment of this, we have to work with just beyond the mind. You know, a lot of times when we work with spiritual concepts, it surprises me how many people are still working with just the mental matter, just working with the mind, just working with mindset, just working with affirmations, just trying to change your mind, instead of working with it as an open system, just like everything else is, where it's mind, body, spirit. You see, you can't change your reality just by changing your mind. You're going to have to change those emotional underpinnings that have become the truth of who you think you are, right? It becomes your truth. Remember I said that? These things, ideas, beliefs about who you think you are, they became your truth. It's not representative of the truth, the ultimate spiritual truth, that you are one, you are whole, you are aligned and part of and collaborating and communicating with everything all the time, no exceptions. No matter whether you call things that are happening in your life good or whether you call them bad, it's all just experience. It's all just experience. And what drops us away from this oneness, in those times where we're facing challenges and we're like, wait, I don't really create my real reality, because there's no way I would ever create something that's, not kind to me. There's no way I would ever create something that I don't like. There's no way I would ever create something that's not wholesome or giving me something that is a higher experience of life. I would never do that to myself. So how can you say, Kathryn, I'm always creating my reality? Well, it's unconscious most of the time. And it's unconscious because we're unwilling to look at and feel into the sensations that are really the things that are kind of the boss of our reality, which are those emotions we don't want to feel, those sensations we don't want to check into when we feel pain, or we feel a pulling, we feel feel a numbness or a leaden energy in the body. Those are the tells. Those are the tells. Those of you who play poker, you know what a tell is, right? That's when your body is saying, hey, we're in deep territory of pulling in unwelcome contrast. And where it's happening is where we feel this in the body, and we can connect with emotions. We don't have to connect with the memory or why it's there. We don't even have to go into why it's there. We can go into, I feel angry. I feel fearful. I feel sad. I feel grief. And we can start by reverse engineering, like, oh, I feel betrayal, or I feel disappointed. I feel grief. I feel like I'm all alone out here. What are those feelings? And a lot of us, when we feel that, what do? Instantly, we push away, we numb out, we find coping mechanisms, we find ways to manage that in the moment so we can just get through the day, get through the week, get through the year, get through the decade. But without addressing those emotional underpinnings, we'll never realize, A, that we are truly one with everything. And those things are the tells that are saying, this is where you're creating the disconnect. This is where you're creating the degree of separation from actually feeling into and knowing that you are one with everything, that you are the ultimate resource of everything that you need. It's those moments where we push away at that, where we are in a space of, you could call it, vibrating in unwelcome contrast. And where a lot of people would say, from a little bit of a spiritually immature standpoint, oh, you must be attracting that reality. There's a lot more going on there. So what I want to do here today is ask you, and then we're going to go into the experience. After what's been said here, do you believe that you are the creator of your reality? All the time, no exceptions. Can you get on board with, I'm going to maybe be able to learn a little bit more about this over these 5 days. And that I'm not willfully hurting myself when I'm attracting experiences that I call bad, or situations that I call bad. And it's never been me doing that in this lifetime. It's just the meanings that I created about the experience I was having that is going to create a magnetic kind of pull to things. Can you just get on board with, okay, I'll stay in the room. I'll stay in the room for these 5 days, and I'll hear her out. And I'll keep my heart and my mind open. And I'll play with these experiences. And I can be in this space as if I don't know anything. I'll be in this space and I'll let go of what I think I know. And this is a big part of why people experience incredibly breakthrough, positive, amazing aha moment, crazy realization, crazy revelation type healings, which is what we're going to go into in the breakthrough process. You're going to get a mini version of that on day 5. It is from being in the space of, I'm going to let go of what I know, or what I think I know. Being the ultimate master of your experience, the paradox is in lying with the idea that you're an eternal student, that you're always learning. And the more you learn, the less you know. And if you can adopt this kind of suppleness of flexibility of your thinking and believing, you're going to get the most out of this class. So, who believes? Without a doubt, no exceptions. You are the creator of your own reality. It's okay. Don't be afraid. You can share in the comments. All right. So I want you to have a sip of water. Please bring water to every day here. You're going to need it. You're going to want to be hydrated. And if you're in a place where you won't be disturbed for about 45 minutes to an hour, great. We'll probably do the full hour today because I do want to take you through the experience. So what are you going to experience today? Transpersonal awareness. Transpersonal awareness. So in my program, Women Walking the Phoenix Path, we talk about different levels of awareness. We talk about different as-me awarenesses. They're different levels, okay? And I'm not going to go through all of that today and break all that down. But there is a 4th level of awareness, which is transpersonal awareness, which is the awareness of I am one with everything. And we can say that, we can talk about it, and we can discuss it, and we can theorize it, and blah, 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 blah. But without experiencing it and feeling into it in a way that it cracks the egg of your perception wide open, because you realize this feels so good. This feels so good. And here's the real secret. Anything that feels really good is truth. When it feels really, really good for you and you're having a great day, things are going your way, okay? Experiences that you have with other people, when you're just in the same room with a certain person, right? We've all experienced this, I hope. It just feels right to be around that person. Or when you're thinking a certain way about yourself, you're doing something, you're involved in a project, right? And it just feels really, 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 really good. You're working with the truth of you. And when you're working with something that doesn't feel so good, that is your cue, your signpost, your fork in the road for saying, this is how we get back to this truth. This thing showing up that doesn't feel so great is actually, it's a cue from the part of me that I forgot that exists, me and my wholeness, me and my oneness, me and my divine incarnation of being at one with everything, collaborating with everything, connecting with everything, communicating with everything all at once, all the time. This never stops because experience never stops. And my experience and my divinity never stops. Even when you die, your experience with your own divinity never stops. Experience keeps going. And we'll have different ways of translating experience, maybe in different dimensional time, spaces, realities, etc. But experience never stops. It keeps going. Because you keep going. You're eternal. You're infinite. You're part of the all that is, that never stops. It never began and it never ends. And while this is way beyond our scope here of what we're talking about and trying to break all that down philosophically, just understand that when you are in those moments where you feel something that is contracting, it makes your awareness go small. It makes you have unkind thoughts or beliefs about yourself. You start creating meanings about your world that make you feel more separate from it. You go into the othering. It doesn't feel very good, does it? Because it's not your truth. It is not part of the truth. And when you're experiencing that, it's always an invitation. It's a gift. I call them the gifts in the garbage. When you feel unwelcome contrast, when you experience pain, when you experience, a triggering moment, it's an invitation to say, hey, this wouldn't be here if the truth of me, more the truth of me, more ways to love myself wasn't on the other side of that. And I really invite you to, and I encourage you to, start looking at the things that are coming up in your life right now as unwelcome contrast. They are invitations from the bigger part of you, from the divine witness part of you that's saying, hey, it's time to look at this thing so we can move back to our truth. Because we're playing the duality dance here, okay? We're not meant to feel good all the time because that's not the experience we agreed to vibrationally by dropping down into density and playing here in 3D duality. So understand that it is a play. It's a role-playing game. And it's this constant dance with duality. And the more you push away at that, the further away you are from the tangible workings that are beneficial to you about spiritual laws, the tangible real workings of your divine self and creating your reality moment to moment the way you want to experience it. If you see this dance of duality as it's the game, you agreed to come here and play, life becomes a lot easier. It becomes lighter, and it actually becomes brighter and more exciting. And when those moments do crop up of unwelcome contrast, you're like, ooh, okay, what's on the other side of this? Because I know I'm much bigger than this problem. And this problem is here to just be a waypoint, to be a signpost, pointing me back to another greater breakthrough into more of my truth, knowing more of who I am, loving more of myself. All right. So go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to focus on where your attention is in your body. Because we're all highly intuitive beings. We all have intuition. We all have intuitive acumen that is ready to wake up and be energized in any given moment. So where the most of the attention is in your body right now, you might feel tingling, you might feel leaden, it might feel numb, it might feel like a throbbing, you might feel pain, you might feel a heaviness there, a leadenness, a numbness. Whatever you feel, there's a part of your body that you're directed to. Don't think about it too much. Just direct your attention there right now and go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you become more attuned to the stillness, find your own pace with the in-breath and the out-breath. And as you do that, you're subtly focused on my voice. I want you to direct your attention and your focus to this part of the body. And it might even be saying, hey, me, me, me. And it could be in your right hip. It could be your left elbow. It could be behind your right ear. It could be your throat. It could be your heart. It could be deep in your belly. Maybe you're feeling like a fluttering of butterflies. This part of your body is letting you know, hey, pay attention to me. I have something to tell you. Your body has tells. Your body is always communicating with you. Because your body is representing your subconscious. About 95% of what you call your reality, your paradigm, the idea or the concept of you, is being lorded over by your subconscious, which has recorded everything. Your subconscious throughout a lifetime has tracked and recorded every single thing. What your conscious mind can't readily recall or what it suppresses, it's all logged, all cataloged, all categorized in your subconscious. And it is represented by your body. Your body is the physical outward expression of reality, of something that is very, very deep, primordial even, ancient, which is your subconscious and your unconscious. So as you keep breathing, you can make a slight adjustment here, a little bit longer on the in-breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and as you exhale, breathe into that spot that you're being directed to in the body. And all you have to do right now is just send it love. As you are focused in this moment of stillness, making the breath your primary point of interest along with this point in the body, you can better use your laser pointed focus of your divine witness, all that which you are, which is just pure love, and direct it there. Now take a deep breath in again. And as you exhale, focus on that part of the body and just send it love. Notice how quick and easy it is to perform this process, to be in a place of stillness. Now we're going to deepen into this, but I want you to do a quick scan of the entire body as we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, starting at the top of the head. We're going to do a quick little mindfulness scan. And I want you to scan the energy down as if you're feeling a soft wave of golden light going through the crown, down over and into the brow, the forehead, coming down around the ears, in the ears, behind the ears, up into the temple, and into the eyes, feeling your eyes resting in your eye sockets. And just this very beautiful golden warm light providing a scan coming down into your sinuses now, into your cheeks, into the nose, into the mouth, the lips. Feel the tongue resting in your mouth. Feeling the upper jaw, the lower jaw. And the jaw where it meets back of the head. And just coming down, bringing this golden warm light down the throat, down the front of the body, the chest, the rib cage, the obliques, and the belly. And as you keep breathing in and out, making the breath a little more seamless now, so it feels like one beautiful cycle of breath with no breaks in between. As you inhale and exhale, it's all one seamless flowing into one with the inhale and exhale. You unite them, kind of ironing out the creases in between the in-breath and the out-breath, so it feels like one clear movement, joined together, unified. Now bringing the attention to the top of the shoulders, coming down into the biceps, the triceps, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, top of the hands, your fingers, the pinky finger, the index finger, the ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumbs. Feel this golden warm awareness in the palm of the hands as it continues back up, travels back up the arms, back up to the shoulders. And now coming up to where the top of the cervical spine starts to meet the head. Just gentle, warm light at the back of the head, very soothing. If you had any tension or tightness in the head or the back of the head, notice how that just dissolves and dissipates and kind of just floats or cascades away as you gently bring this gentle, warm, golden light down the neck again, down the upper back, mid-back, down each vertebra as it goes into the lower back, into the hips, the glutes, and just kind of swirling this golden warm light in the belly. It's very soothing, very nourishing, rejuvenating, but soft at the same time. And bringing this down in this warm, spiraling, cascading downward descending golden warm light as it goes down each leg, down through the thighs, the front and the back of the legs respectively, the knees, the front of the knees, the back of the knees, down the lower legs, to the ankles, over the tops of the feet, each toe starting with the pinky toes, your second toe in, the middle toe, your second toe, big toe, and down through the soles of the feet and out the soles of the feet. And just letting all this energy go down in a whoosh. And as it goes down in a whoosh of energy, taking any tightness, tension, heaviness, leadenness out of the body. And noticing now how you feel as you continue with the breath. I want you to notice the supreme awareness of you, the transpersonal awareness of you. And I'm going to stop my video for a moment so that you can focus. And this is what we call the fourth level of awareness. This is the transpersonal experience. That all life is living itself and expressing itself through you. And keep breathing. And as you do, you notice you are slightly allowing yourself to move outside of what feels like the borders, the parameters of your physical being. And the line between your physical body and that which is outside of you is kind of blurry, like a permeable membrane. And you're moving that awareness up and out simultaneously and down and around. In all directions, this energy moves outside of you as you continue to breathe in and out in that seamless cycle of unifying breath where you don't feel the break in between the in-breath and the out-breath. This movement from the personal and into the transpersonal, meaning beyond the filter, the sphere of reality that you call you, that you identify as you. A movement from the egocentric into the universal. Your awareness shifts, and you're becoming very clear that life is expressing itself in a multitude of forms, including right now, through you, through me, through everyone and everything that you know as part of physical reality. Just as life is moving through rainforests, it is also moving through you as the same energy. As you breathe in, you're breathing in the consciousness that is the rainforest. As you breathe out, you're breathing into the rainforest, the consciousness, the expression and experience of the all that is, from you, through, and to that. And it is all one. And the breath being in the cosmic unifier, the magnetizer and the attractor, also the transmitter, the receiver. And this same energy, this same consciousness that you're experiencing tangibly through the breath is also the same energy that moves through and animates the oceans. It's the same energy that is moving through a chimpanzee. It's the same energy that is moving through the dry grasses of a savanna. It's the same energy that is moving through a dog, a cat, an elephant. It is also moving through you. And that energy, as you breathe that in, is all the same dust and particles that make up the all that is. And as it transmutes through the energy and expression of the one energy that is you, and you breathe it out, those particles, those movements, that expression is informing everything else through the tiniest seeds that are blown in the wind, through the wind itself. Everything, including all that which you are, all that you have ever been and all that will ever be is all part of the same oneness and energy. And right now it is this deep understanding through your human, through the focus point of perception that is your human right now. You feel this sacredness. You feel that you are no more or less important than anything else that exists or that you can call reality. It is all part of the same energy. It is all sacred. No more important or less important than any other form through which life is expressing its vastness. And this transpersonal awareness is a profoundly spiritual concept and context in which the role of life, which is just experience, ongoing experience. Through our filter right now, we call it life, but it is just experience, and it never stops. It keeps going. And we break these points of experience, or stop or timestamp these points of experience by saying, this is life and it means this to me. And we're defining what is sacred or profane. In the context, we are giving it through the meaning. But it's all just life. It's all just experience. It's all just ongoing. Whatever breaks we experience in that ongoing circle, spiral, cycle of life falls on us. And it makes this experience vastly and forever different from anyone else's experience. Simply because this meaning we give it is creating this break. But beyond that, the truth of that is that it's all just going. It's all just one. It's all just experience. And you are shifting into this transpersonal experience more and more as you experience the heart expanding, the command center of your consciousness expanding, feeling more of the emotional of love as the emotion of love courses through you. You're extending this out beyond this very permeable membrane that you call you, that you call the personality, the idea, the concept that is you. You can feel it now, how it all just moves in and out with the breath. And you're conscious of this interplay, this movement of going in and out of awareness, in and out of experience, is all being known to you right now through the breath. Feel how activated and strong and powerful this energy is. Everything is available in this energy. Anything you can possibly imagine, any potential you could wish for or dream into. If you have awareness of it, it is you. You are that. And the only thing that is breaking you off from that is the meaning you are creating around. What does it mean? What value does it have for you? How are you judging it, voting on it? That's the meaning you're giving it. And that's what breaks you in one degree of separation, in one singular meaning that you create, where you drop or timestamp the flow of experience. You create a degree of separation from all that is. And we do this all day, every day, and throughout the span of our lives, don't we? But you don't have to. You can just let it all be, let it all in. And in this, another profound awareness takes hold. That if everything is just part of this energy, and as I breathe this in and out, and it's all just part of the one, it's part of this one field, it's all source. As I breathe in the particles of everything else that I can see or know or say exists or have awareness of, it is also breathing me in. Just as I take it in, it is taking me in, and there is no separation except for the one that I create in my own mind. And just feel that activation. As you feel this more and more, and you take this truth in with the breath, you feel more of that heaven on earth experience that we're all asking for. This is what it feels like, because this is what truth feels like. This is what love feels like. And it's simply here. It's simply now. It's all that there is. When we remove all of our filters, we are aware of all that is. And all that is love. Allow it. You do not force or move or manipulate events to make love happen. You allow it and remove the obstacles or limitations to it. And what are those obstacles or limitations? The ones that you've created. A feeling that you had in the body that stayed with you, that got stuck, that got as a frozen chunk of energy in your body and created meanings in your mind around what that is. And then you made that feeling, that idea belong to you. Well, what if you gave it up right now by letting go of the meaning and realizing in this moment, I can feel this. I can have the experience and awareness of me and my truth, which feels good, which feels whole, which feels loving, which feels unconditional, which feels compassionate, which feels forgiving, which feels kind. And this feels good. So I know this must be my truth. Understand the only thing that limits you from or creates obstacles to experiencing that is you. There is no force outside of you that can take love away from you. And while that might be hard to grasp in this moment, as you're feeling all this love course through you, it might be a little easier to side with this idea. Let this build for a moment more. Let yourself bask in this energy, and I want you to create some sort of a marker with this. And what I mean by that is, so I expressed here that the subconscious expresses itself through the body. And the subconscious speaks to you in symbols and metaphor. So a very powerful way to remember this energy, so you can go back to it instantly throughout your day. I'm going to give you a little tool right now. And I'm going to turn my video back on so you can see me do this, but I'll walk you through it for those who want to keep your eyes closed or who can't see or don't have their video on. To mark this feeling, and just go back into it for a moment. As you breathe in, you're taking in all that is, and as you breathe out, all that is taking in you, and is this beautiful cycle and super flow of energy that never stops. It never stops flowing. I want you to take your index finger and press it to your thumb and say, I bless myself. And now take your middle finger and press it to your thumb. I forgive myself. And now take your ring finger and press it to your thumb. I release myself. And now take your pinky finger and press it to your thumb. I am myself. And notice how you feel as you do that. And continue it for a few more repetitions so that you can lock this into your subconscious, that this feeling that you feel right now in this now moment, that is endless, it is eternal, it is ongoing experience. You can capture it in time when you need it throughout your day, when you need to remember, I am myself, which is divinity, which is all it is, which is everything expressing itself through me, and I'm expressing everything into it. And there is no break in that except for the one I create as a mental construct. I bless myself. I forgive myself. I release myself. I am myself. And using those 4 fingers, the more you do this, the more you are locking this in. So it is registered, logged, cataloged, memorized in the subconscious that when I do this, I am bringing this moment back. I'm bringing this feeling back. I'm flooding myself and saturating my awareness in the truth of all that which I am. I remember who I am. I bless myself. I forgive myself. I release myself. I am myself. I bless myself. I forgive myself. I release myself. I am myself. And now breathe. And just notice right now how you feel. You can go ahead and open your eyes. Notice how open and awake and energized you feel. Sorry. You might notice that when you do this more and more, you're activating energy. So for me, all my energy moves out in my throat and my ears. So when I do this work with others and I do it with myself, the energy will find some escape. You might cry, you might burp, you might fart, you might need to cough a lot, clear your throat, your ears might pop. You might feel pressure in your body, but just use what you used before and what I walked you through into just breathing into that part of the body. That's the part of you that's crying out for attention and saying, hey, I'm not getting the recognition I need. And remember, in that part that feels ill at ease, that part of the body that feels obstructed, heavy, tight, dense, numb, whatever, that is the part of you that's saying, hey, there's something here we need to look at. This is providing unwelcome contrast that doesn't need to be here. I'm asking you to return me back to all the love that you are. Please do that for me. So when you feel that in your body, that's what's going on. And it is your responsibility. You put it there. So you, as the creator of your own reality, you put it there. It's time to release it. Give it a release valve. Give it a place to go. And when you bring that under your attention, and you review it from a place of supreme love, from that energy of all that which you are, which you can go back into by doing, I bless myself, I forgive myself, I release myself, I bless myself. You'll let that energy open up. The body will remember, we are in this complete embrace and enmeshment of love. And everything returns to love. All problems are solved with love, right? We don't solve conflicts with more conflicts. We don't solve the problem of that which is seeking love but is only enshrouded in shadow. We don't enshroud it in even more shadow and hope that it goes away. And that's what we do when we try to suppress things or say this emotion that's uncomfortable for me and I don't want to experience it. We're saying, you get to, if I feel this on my left shoulder and I just keep moving on about my day and I'm like, I have to get shit done, instead of taking a few minutes and even using the space that I help you create here now, even with just a few minutes, you can say, I see you, I hear you, I know you need my attention. I'm going to give you the love that you need so we can return to wholeness. You get to do that for yourself. Nothing outside of you can do that. No matter how you try to manage or cope, understand that when you are in this oneness, you are the creator of your own reality. You heal yourself. The more and more you reach beyond just the concept of this, the idea of this, living it, and as we're starting to, you are doing that. You did that today through the tools that I've given you here. I hope you'll continue to use them. So how do we feel now? Let's just do a quick little check-in with you all before we close out today's call. How did this feel for you today? And remember to drink a lot of water because you did release here today. And just, if you have a journal and you want to take note of what came in, you want to draw, you want to write, you want to paint, you want to go out and have a walk, you want to ground yourself more, you want to go pet your dog, you want to go eat a chocolate chip cookie. Just notice how you feel. It feels expansive, yes. What else are you noticing in the aftermath of this? Releasing, yes, absolutely. You released yourself from your own self-made, self-imposed tethers. And we do that through the meanings we create about just this ongoing experience. It's just happening. Life is just, it's happening. And it's where we create the meanings that become the trappings. and the moments where we timestamp and stop the flow of experience and create value or judgment on it. We vote on what's happening. And the longer we hold on to that, we create an emotional imprint on the body. We create thoughts that corroborate it in the mind. That becomes something we add to the paradigm of who we are. And your whole life has consisted of that up until now. But good news, you changed that. You changed it right here today. It's very malleable. It's extremely elastic. It's just that we weren't working with the full capacity of knowing how to move into a new level of awareness, to expand the contents of our consciousness, to opt into a paradigm of self, or an idea of self, a concept of who we are, that is far greater and far more beneficial than what we've experienced up until now. And here's that key phrase, and I'm going to say this over and over again over the next couple days. Up until now. Because everything changes. And you can even put your hands on your heart and say, in this moment, I am changed, because you are. You were gifted with an expanded level of your awareness. You've expanded the contents of your consciousness just right here together today. We did this as a group effort. And how lovely was that? To release yourself from emotional tethers, mental tethers, and expand and move beyond that. And you felt that. It's not just an idea. You weren't just working with the mental matter here. You felt it. You experienced it. Yeah? And our emotions are the anchors of our experience. So change the emotions, change the experience. So we're going to build on that. Thank you, everyone, for being brave explorers. I'm going to see you tomorrow at the same time, 12 noon. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Mwah. Lots of love. Bye.